Okay, so if you're a fan of the Black Clover anime or the Boruto anime, then I have good news for you. Because it's no secret now that for both anime, it's been quite some time since both of them went off air. Black Clover's anime went off air March of 2021, pretty much over 3.5 years ago as of the recording of this video. And the Boruto anime went off air March of 2023, about a little over a year and a half as of the recording of this video as well. So it's been quite some time since both of the anime went off air. In between all of that, the studio that produces those anime, Studio Pierrot, had brought forth something major that is currently ongoing right now with the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War anime. And for the most part, they've been very scarce on production. To give you a little bit of an idea of what the studio was to where it is right now, back in the day, this is the same studio that was simultaneously releasing the Bleach anime and the Naruto Shippuden anime ongoing weekly at their prime. And even when Bleach went off air, they were still doing a bunch of other stuff. They were responsible for the Tokyo Ghoul anime, for better or worse. That Tokyo Ghoul anime, at the very least, season 1 was responsible for a mega phenomenon of a hit series with Tokyo Ghoul. And Studio Pierrot, back in the days, they handled a lot of anime at the same time. I mean, even going earlier than that, they were responsible for the Yu Yu Hakusho anime. So Studio Pierrot are no rookies to this by any means. Obviously, the staff may have changed throughout the years, of course, but for the most part, back in the day, Studio Pierrot, they handled a lot of anime at the same time. You fast forward, the Boruto anime and Black Clover anime, they were doing both of those simultaneously for a while, but eventually, little by little, it seemed as though because of the lack of mega success that those series had in comparison to their predecessors, Black Clover, while being very successful, the manga wasn't the big hit that people had hoped for. And even though that doesn't necessarily reflect the anime, at the same time, the people at Shueisha, with the money that they invest, they are going to maneuver differently if they're not seeing a big return on investment. They're going to kind of move it aside, and it's not going to be a major priority going all the way down to Studio Pierrot. Even if it was a hit for them, they're not going to have the support of Shueisha. And then, of course, with the Boruto anime, while yes, there were many moments where the anime would definitely get a spotlight, would get a hit, a lot of the stuff where Naruto and Sasuke would get involved, when Boruto would go Boroshiki, the battle against Boro, there were times where the Boruto anime would definitely have a moment, so to speak, but for the most part, the Boruto anime as well failed to meet the expectations at the very least, or the success levels of Naruto. So both of them running simultaneously was not the same scenario as Naruto and Bleach in their heyday, two of the most popular manga of all time, popular anime of all time, running simultaneously. I'd imagine that budget-wise, it just wasn't working out. So over the years, they put both of them to bed and continued on with the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War. And one of the things that fans noticed very quickly is the fact that this has worked out extremely well for Bleach. The 1000-Year Blood War anime is one of the best looking shonen battle series out right now, and in general, it's just a major step up from anything we've seen Studio Pierrot produce over the years. If you really think about it, since the 90s, they haven't had such a high quality, faithful adaptation like they've been doing with the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War. Because of course, we already know that the Bleach anime back in the days had tons of filler, from the Bounce arc to the Captain Amagai, and then Boruto, for better or worse, whether you want to say it was in novels or not, ultimately, as far as manga canon stuff, yeah, it was very scarce and there was a ton of filler. But not the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, which in it of itself explains why Studio Pierrot had to make the decisions that they made. Were fans ecstatic about it that we lost our 2 anime that we had running each and every week new episodes? Not exactly. I mean, with the hope out there of like, yo, they could come back season 1, it'll be a big thing. Sure, some fans held on to that, but in terms of losing your weekly dose of your Boruto or Black Clover anime, yeah, it wasn't the greatest feeling in the world. But again, it worked out. And I say all that to say it's because it seems as though Studio Pierrot, whether it be financially, time-wise, and general help-wise, haven't had the staff, the manpower, and in general the team to put together stuff like Boruto and Black Clover weekly, or in general just have all these anime running simultaneously. Because we see when they have a concentrated effort and they have enough manpower what they're capable of with Bleach's 1000-Year Blood War. But with this news that recently popped up, it seems as though Studio Pierrot is about to have a major upgrade, and maybe a lot of the delays and a lot of the waiting and a lot of the time that it feels like it's been taking to get the Boruto and Black Clover anime back seems as though it's going to be maybe quicker than we previously thought. And before we continue, if you would hit that subscribe button and that bell, I'd greatly appreciate it. You'd get updated on the world of anime and manga, because that's what I do. According to this article, it says here, Asahi Production signs business partnership with Pierrot. Asahi Production announced on Friday that it has signed a business partnership agreement with anime studio Pierrot to strengthen in the system for stable production of high quality anime works. Before we continue, that is basically proving everything of what I just said, that essentially they are doing this partnership right now so that they can strengthen the system for stable production of high quality anime works. Basically high level production, high quality art and animation, not having to be running week to week with filler and subpar episodes. Seems as though this partnership, this deal that they just signed, is going to be immense in terms of strengthening the team and the manpower that Studio Pierrot has in order to create more projects. Because if all of this works out very well, then essentially we won't have to wait to just get one of them back after the Bleach anime ends. If they have a larger staff now, if they have a larger team, if they have access to more resources, then Studio Pierrot won't have to wait until the Bleach Thousand Year Blood War ends next year to get started on one of Boruto or Black Clover. They could potentially already get started slowly with pre-production on both. When Bleach ends, they could use the rest of that manpower to make both of those anime go. And that's just on the lower side of things if they're only getting a small upgrade. If they're getting a larger upgrade of resources and staff members to strengthen their group, then both Boruto and Black Clover can be returning way sooner than the fandom expects. Asahi Production stated that in the current environment of animation production, the number of TV anime titles produced has remained at around 300 per year since around 2015. The company added that there is a demand for titles produced to be of higher quality using more advanced technology, and that is facts. One of the biggest things you could say about anime fans is, yes, they definitely appreciate a good anime, but expectations over the years have gotten astronomical, and we could point fingers all day. We could look at Studio Mappa and be like, it's because of Demon Slayer being a 20 billion out of 10 with every single cell and frame of animation, or we could just say that in general because we had a lot of anime that maybe they were overdoing it. Definitely they were overutilizing the staff and making them work exuberant amount of hours to get things done. Yes, essentially they overexhausted and basically put the staff through a living nightmare in order to get the level of quality of something like a Demon Slayer or a Chainsaw Man or an Attack on Titan final season. Like, just think about that for a sec. Studio Pierrot right here is basically struggling trying to get one quality anime with Bleach Thousand Year Blood War, while studios like Mappa were handling high budget quality productions like Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, Hell's Paradise, and a slew of other titles, Attack on Titan, all simultaneously. And so yeah, we could look at Studio Mappa, Studio Ufotable, and all these other companies like, yo, you raised the bar too high. But at the same time, it's just the industry as a whole. The COVID era definitely didn't help at all, as it gave birth to a lot of new anime and manga fans at the time. And again, expectations just went through the roof. People were watching anime and expecting just everything to look like Demon Slayer. So now the industry kind of morphed itself into something more of a model that doesn't quite seem sustainable unless you have a major staff and group to be able to put it together, like what seemingly Pierrot is trying to do with this collaboration that they just signed with Asahi Production. With the business partnership agreement, Asahi Production and Pierrot aim to leverage the strengths of both companies to establish a system for stable production of higher quality works. Both companies will aim for further growth through joint projects and sharing of resources, including human resources. This is so much win, guys. You don't understand how much win this is. The fact that they're basically going to be working together to share resources, whatever that may be, whether it be that they have new technologies to help the advancement of the anime, the quality, especially the human resources of we could have more manpower to get things done in a more timely manner at the same time without sacrificing quality. And in general, this just sounds so great for the future of Boruto, Black Clover, and anything else that Studio Pierrot might do in the future. If they're going to continue on with more Bleach anime, maybe they're going to do the Hell arc at some given point, or they're going to adapt one of the novels into a movie. Like, now the possibilities of what they're capable of have expanded exponentially. Like, we could get the Boruto anime and Black Clover anime back at the same time and not have to wait a decade plus like we waited for Bleach. And if you just want a little insight on Asahi Production, they were established in 1973. It seems as though they haven't done any breakout hits per se, but if the quality that they produced over the years is good, then putting them together with Pierrot and just putting more manpower, which will in turn give more time to get things done. Again, this is just ultimate wins, and Boruto and Black Clover anime might have come back 3, 4, 5 years from now, could come back within the next couple of years if the team is right and everything is structured properly with a good timetable to make these things happen. Where was I? Oh yeah, left rear, flat tire. My patience is getting thinner, my anger is getting higher, so I gotta move to a gas station, try to get air. My car's riding on the rim, I need to hurry get there. I pull up, hop out with the change for the pump. Ain't nothing coming out. What the fuck?